So once you have the answers for like what you want people to know, let me try that again. Once you know what you want people to remember, how you want them to feel, like your overall message of your church, meaning like how we want to capture people's attention and what we want them to remember about our church and what we want them to do, you need to know how to implement it. You need to know how, like, where to put all this stuff, okay? I'm gonna share with you the exact process that we use when we do digital marketing. I hate that term, but really like using the internet to spread the word about your church. You can also use everything I'm about to show you for your bulletin, for your slides, for your in-church, one-on-one conversations, even in Sunday school classrooms. All this is gonna work. And let's talk about how you can implement your messaging. Okay? And remember, without implementation, if you just sit here and just do some messaging thinking in your head, you're answering the questions that I asked you in your head, and you're like, this sounds good, I like this, let me tell John about this, until you actually implement it, put pen to paper, right? This is all of this we're talking about today is worthless, all right? This is a trap that many churches fall into. They do some work and then they never actually put it into practice, okay? So let me give you some steps here that you need to implement. Number one, examine your website. Does your website reflect your messaging in a way that people cannot ignore? Okay? If you say, hey, I like this, you know what? Life is hard, we get it, okay? Jesus said he can take that burden off. He's taking it off our shoulders. He's taking it off our congregation's shoulders. We're living freely. We're living more abundantly. We're living more peacefully with ourselves and with others. And we want to join you because we want you to have the same, right? We want you to live a better life as well because I care about you, because you're my neighbor, right? But if that's your message and I go to your website and it says, welcome home, Sundays at 10:30, doesn't match. There's a discontinuity there, okay? So you got to examine your website. Your one-liner may not fit on your, like once you land on your site, we call it the header, the hero, all right? It may not fit there, but some version of it can, okay? For example, another client church, hey, we understand that churches have dropped the ball. They haven't been answering the hard questions, and we think that's a problem. So at our church, we answer the hard questions and we figure out our faith together so you can experience the full peace of Christ and share it with others, right? That's a bit much. So when you go to their website, what does it say? Welcome to a church without the baggage. That's curiosity driven, okay? And then they talk more about that mission in their messaging on their website, okay? Again, your website has to match it, okay? Your other online presence, okay? We don't talk about this often enough, but we will in the future. Your online presence, specifically talking Google. If I Google your church, what is going to show up? Is it going to say, welcome home again? Sunday services at 10:30. Is it going to be your mission statement? We're a church on a mission to make disciples who make disciples. If you want that compelling message, you have to put it everywhere. And this includes what shows up on Google. Your social media, okay? Your Instagram, your LinkedIn bio, for example, okay? If you say all that about your church, and then I go to your Facebook page or your Instagram page and your bio says, we love Christ and we love people, Sunday mornings at 10:30. Again, generic, actionless, pass, okay? Put that on your Instagram bio, okay? We get it, life is hard. There should be something better, right? Jesus is better. Click here to learn more about Jesus, right? Whatever that is, okay? Your personal communications, okay? Again, we talked about that consistency of language, all right? This is something that's very tough, but one of the churches that's growing like wildfire, they said, we don't want to invite people to church. We want them to invite them to groups. So if you hear this language, okay, if you hear, my finances are crap, okay? If you hear, I parked in the back because I don't want the Rebo man to see my car up front because they figured out where I worked, okay? If you hear, don't tell my wife this, but if you hear any of that, invite them to your group, right? Don't invite them to church. Don't say, oh man, that sucks. Wish I could help you. Like, that's the language that we want to speak into, okay? And so even in personal communications, we can use this language. Why? Because consistency breeds trust, all right? Coca-Cola, enjoy happiness, or whatever the name is, okay? McDonald's, I'm loving it, right? Like, there can be unique campaigns, but overall, the overarching message is you're going to love it, okay? Consistency breeds trust. You see that red can, you're parched, you want to do it. Gatorade, you see those bright neon colors, you're like, oh man, that sounds refreshing for some reason. I'm not a huge Gatorade fan. Trying to get my kids off of it. I know I'm drinking my own poison here, Dr. Pepper Zero. I can't break that habit, but I see that can, I see that aluminum, I'm like, I want that. All right. Consistency breeds trust. I see that purplish maroon Dr. Pepper can, and I'm like, yes, that's gonna fulfill my thirst. Okay. That's gonna make me feel better, right? I see that consistency in your branding, but also in your colors and all that stuff, but also in the language you use. Use the same language, people will start to feel comfortable. Okay. Again, we like variety in our compliments from our spouse, but we need consistency in our messaging from the organizations that we trust. Your church is no exception.